On your side, this is News 12 This Morning.
A missing 88-year-old still recovering in the hospital this morning after missing for nearly 18 hours. Hear the family's statement thanking you for your help.
And Bobby Christina Brown, the only child of the late Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, has died. The 22-year-old had been in the hospital for months as family hoped she would regain brain function.
Good morning. The time is 6 a.m. on this Monday. I'm Meredith Anderson.
And I'm Danielle Hughes. Today is Monday morning, July 27th. Thanks for waking up with us.
And a lot of you are going to be having a much different week next week and the coming weeks as the kiddos head back to school.
Yes, time is flying and the weather is not getting any cooler.
No,
well, it may be getting a little cooler.
Right, but I mean, when you're talking a couple of degrees there, what, 97 to 100? I mean, we'll take, Tim, all the relief that we can get, but yeah, it's still pretty hot out there as summer kind of comes to a close. But that's good, though. A lot of people enjoying the pool, getting out there and, you know, trying to just squeeze the last seconds of summer.
You'll be able to do
It's
that.
coming up.
Yeah, pools are still open here. It's still going to remain warm through all of, we're not even in August yet here, which is one of the other hot months here on the calendar for the south. A couple of isolated showers are working ashore just south of Savannah. We're looking out at the Grovetown Live Eye camera. The temperatures are still in the upper 60s, kind of a more pleasant start than where we were about this time last week, sitting in the upper 70s to even some low 80s just before sunrise. Well, the temperatures are expected to climb. We're going to have some heat to start the week off here. 10 a.m. to noon, 83 to 91, and moving back into some middle and upper 90s here from 3 to 5 o'clock. Should tip it off at 98, but that seems to be the hottest day of the week today. And as we kind of move ourselves in the second half of the week, we're finally back around average. We'll talk about our chances for rain also coming up in just a little while too, Meredith.
All right, thanks for that, Tim. Some good news to pass along this morning. A missing 88-year-old man is recovering in the hospital after missing for nearly 18 hours. David Pearson, who suffers from dementia, was reported missing from a home on Whaley Pond Road Saturday afternoon. He was found, though, yesterday morning in the woods on I-20 near exit 11 after overnight searches. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office says he only had some minor scratches and was in good shape. He was walking and he was talking. The family released this statement to News 12 saying, quoting here, "The past 24 hours have been very emotional for our family. Our family is overwhelmed with the love and support shown by those in the community. We are truly thankful for everything that has been done to help get our grandpa and daddy home safely."
Breaking overnight, Whitney Houston's daughter, Bobby Christina Brown, has died. This comes about 7 months after she was found face down and unresponsive in a bathtub. Bobby Christina was only 22 years old. Police reports describe her death as a drowning. Bobby Christina was the only child between Houston and R&B singer Bobby Brown.
Funeral services will be held today for the two victims in last week's movie theater shooting in Louisiana. Mourners came together Sunday to remember Jillian Johnson and Macy Bro. The two women were killed when John Russell Hauser opened fire, injuring 9 others before taking his own life. Coming up in the next half hour, the latest on the gunman's prior mental concerns and new details on how he spent his final hours. It has been more than a week since a lone gunman shot and killed 5 military men, but one local is trying to keep their memory alive. Retired Marine Captain Mike Ivey has stood out on the Whiskey Road area there for 2 Saturdays in a row now. This time, hundreds of supporters were by his side throughout the day.
It's been quite a few days now, but don't want people to forget. And even though I didn't know the Marines personally, they still served, you know, and we look at each other as brothers, sisters.
Ivy tells us he's considering standing out there again next week. If you'd like to drop by, of course, we'll keep you updated if he does.
Police in Georgia are investigating a body pulled from a river. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says the man's body was found Saturday morning near Macon. They say the body was extremely decomposed and was wearing a Prom 2015 bracelet. He has not yet been identified and a cause of death has not been determined. An autopsy is expected sometime this week.
An OSHA investigation ongoing this morning after a man dies at a South Carolina steel plant. The coroner says crews worked for 6 hours to rescue the man who was trapped between machines in Berkeley County. He died at the Nucor plant before they were able to free him Saturday night. His name has not been released, but they say they do know he was an out-of-state contractor.
South Carolina health officials are asking for a federal evaluation of their response to the E. coli outbreak that killed a child at a daycare center. The director of DHEC says the CDC will review how the agency handled the outbreak at the Learning Vine Daycare in Greenwood. The CDC will review the agency's response in its infectious disease programs overall. 14 cases of E. coli were identified there. A 2-year-old boy died from the disease back in May.
One person recovering this morning after a paraplane accident in Edgefield County. It happened at the airport in Trenton Saturday night. A paraplane is a light aircraft that has a parachute with a motor and wheels. 2 people were on that paraplane when it went down.
From Crime Team 12, a South Carolina woman has been sentenced to life in prison after a hired hitman kills the wrong person. Police say the 41-year-old Greenwood woman hired a 17-year-old to kill her estranged husband back in 2013. The teen ended up ambushing and killing the husband's brother by mistake. The teen claims him and the woman were in a sexual relationship when she hired him. He is awaiting trial for murder.
Records show there are less car accidents involving deer in South Carolina. A review by state public safety officials show collisions with deer are actually down by 200 accidents in the past 3 years. In 2014, there were 2,200. Officials say it might be because fewer deer live in the state. They estimate that about 750,000 deer live in South Carolina. That's actually down from more than 1 million 15 years ago.
We're on your side this morning if you're looking for a job. The Edgefield County Job Fair is this Wednesday. It will be held from 10 to 2 in Storm Thurmond High School's cafeteria. There will be several employers there, including Bridgestone, Coastal Farms, U.S. Fibers, and more looking to hire.
Now this from Election Team 12. The 2016 presidential hopefuls are really winding through our area. This week, Rick Santorum is campaigning in Aiken. Tomorrow, he will be speaking at the Aiken Republican Club's lunch meeting at Newberry Hall. It is open to the public. You're welcome to go. Registration starts at 10:30 in the morning. Santorum is expected to arrive between 10:45 and 11.
The U.S. women's basketball team have won their 6th straight under-19 world basketball title. South Carolina's very own A'ja Wilson led the team with 30 points to beat Russia in the final game last night, 78-70. Wilson also broke the scoring record in a U19 game, taking home MVP honors.
Still to come on News 12 this morning, a Grovetown inmate back behind bars this morning with an additional charge after escaping from work detail. Plus, we now know the names of the 3 people killed in a single car crash on I-20. What the coroner tells News 12 happened. And in light of the Charleston church shootings, Aiken Public Safety is taking measures to make sure your place of worship stays safe.
And it looks like around here we're going to be starting off dry and hot. We've got temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. Better chances for rain coming in through midweek, and we may actually see a little bit of a cool down. Lower 90s toward the end of the week. We'll have that coming up next.
Wake up with News 12 this morning.
I'm Meredith Anderson.
And I'm Danielle Hughes here with meteorologist Tim Strong.
Good morning.
Expect the latest news.
South Carolina House has passed a bill removing the Confederate flag.
Most of the east side of the tracks have been cleaned. Possibly 1 to 2 lanes closed out today.
Expect weather coverage where you live.
For the early morning travels, but at least some rainfall to talk about.
And expect to have a little fun.
Drone racing championship.
Attack of the nerds, but that's cool.
Expect more. News 12 this morning.
Yes. Hold this down. If I pull it up, the dress will come up. This is a family show.
I understand.
So I'm like, that's how I feel though. I'm walking like an old person.
No.
Mondays are hard.
Mondays are. Do you have your IFP? I don't.
She says she does not.
I think I'm gonna have to purchase a new one.
You lost it?
Yeah, after I went live, like I have not, out in the field, I've not
Oh,
seen
you lost it?
Yeah, I think so.
Bummer. You can get a generic one. Like one of the ones that just have a...
Yeah, until I... Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Has anybody talked to me yet? Or is this my IFB? My IFB's not plugged in. It's like, that's it.
I wouldn't even have an IFB, even if...
Yeah.
Good morning. On this Monday morning, we're taking a look at Washington and Berkman's Road. As you can see, it's pretty dark out there still for people getting ready for their morning commute. Tim, what can they expect out of the weather this morning?
Well, it's going to be a dry one here. We've got a quiet start. The temps are in the 60s and some lower 70s here, but we are expecting to see maybe a mostly sunny sky set up here. New week, hottest day of the week today. Then we'll start to see a trend get a little bit cooler, back closer to average by the end of the week. Little onshore rain coming in, but that stays mostly south here in between I-95 from Brunswick, Georgia to Savannah. We got the Windsor Cam picking up just a little bit of light traffic. Still pretty early, 6:13 on the clock, 68 the current temperature as of right now. But skies for the most part very quiet. We've got 60s jumping to 90s here at 8 o'clock, just around the 70 mark. It's 92 to 98 from midday into 5 p.m. So look for plenty of heat as we go into this afternoon. Rain chances, not a whole lot happening here, though, as we kind of cruise our way in towards the midweek. We see a little better chance start to come back in there tomorrow afternoon. Maybe a chance of an isolated storm, but the good news is we're going to inch ourselves away from the triple digits as we move on through further down in the 5 to 7 day forecast. So we'll have more coming up in the forecast in just a little bit here. Meredith?
All right, thanks, Tim. It is almost time for back to school, and for some parents, it might seem like every year you just find yourself getting this endless amount of school supplies. That list just continues to grow. News 12's Reyes Spigner has your morning top 5 ways to save money when you are shopping for back to school supplies. And I know this is certainly some news a lot of parents can use.
Yes, absolutely. And I know it probably feels like you're going out to buy tons of supplies only to watch them slowly disappear towards the end. So I went to money.us.com to bring you your top 5 ways to saving money on school supplies. Number 5, shop in bulk. Buying in bulk from Amazon or warehouses like Sam's Club and Costco can save money on items like pencils and notebooks. They could also save you trips for when supplies start to dwindle in the middle of the semester, which I think is a really good idea.
Which is always a good thing. And also buy throughout the year as well. If you're, say, at Costco and they have a sale on pens and it happens to be, I don't know, October,
Absolutely.
Get it and just put it up, because you will like having that supply closet where all you have to do is open a door when you need something rather than get in the car, go to the store, spend more money, pay regular price for something. So always be on the lookout for discounts.
That's what my mom used to do. I used to be obsessed with lead, the mechanical pencils, so she used to buy them throughout the year all the time.
That's smart.
But anyway, okay, so number 4, student discounts. Take advantage of student discounts, especially on electronics. There are usually student discounts that start up right around now. Keep rebate dates in mind and compare them to retailers and websites like Amazon.com or Newegg.com for the bottom price.
And this is good for everyone, not just parents,
Yes.
because we all need electronics, we all need computers. So back to school time, even if you don't have a child, can be a good time for you to replace your computer at home as well.
Absolutely. When I was on my way to college, I got a new computer and it came with like a new printer and I got a discount on the computer. So it's just good. All around great for those student discounts. Okay, number 3, check auction websites. Sites like eBay can help with finding back-to-school items like backpacks that of course have to be designer and electronics at the lower price than most retail stores.
Etsy also uses a variety of merchants who I ordered a book bag for my daughter with her name on it. You also
Oh my
can get things
God,
monogrammed,
so
which
cute.
my little one calls mommygram because I put her initials on everything. But that's also a good way to look because some
Yeah.
sellers on Etsy, I mean, the craftsmanship is wonderful and their prices are good too because they're competitive.
There you go. Another good one. That is another good one. Okay, number 2, outlet malls. Along with supplies comes the clothes and shoes. Back to school blowouts can be found in outlets. Plan out a day to go and search for some back to school necessities on sale. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, outlet shopping is great. We've got one
Outlet
in
shopping is
Commerce.
great.
There are a number of some in Charleston.
Absolutely.
So kind of plan it around one of those last minute family vacations.
Absolutely.
Maybe
And
now that you've got like a week left, I think.
yes, okay. And this one, number 1, a back to school swap. I think this is so creative. You can host a back to school party with other parents. The parents can bring gently used clothing or extra school supplies that can be of use to someone else. You can get items you need and cast off the ones you don't.
No, it's always
I
smart.
just think that's creative, like seriously.
Always smart to do something like that, and especially parents with multiple children know this. The siblings
yeah.
pass things down.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
My sister and brother, bless their hearts, had to deal with a lot of my hand-me-downs going back to school.
And as far as outlets go, I know you mentioned a couple. There
Sure.
is a factory outlet in Lexington about an hour away from North Augusta, not too bad. And I saw that there was one in an Evans outlet in Augusta, Georgia. So there are a couple of places there where you can plan out your outlet days.
Yeah, it's any ways to save money. Also, online shopping is a good thing too because
Online shopping
so
is
many
great.
places offer free shipping. And a good tip
Ding,
here,
ding.
make sure that the stores, local stores, will take back your items so you don't have to pay for
Yes.
shipping to return clothes and shoes that don't fit.
Absolutely.
Because you can get
That's
them,
a really good
you can get them
point.
to your house and then take them back to the local store here, and then you don't have to cover the shipping. So there's lots of ways, as long as you just take the time to look. And thanks for
Yes.
taking your time to look and find
Absolutely.
some ways to save money. Saving money
Not a
always
problem.
a good thing. Still to come on News 12, investigators now have a lead suspect, they say, in the disappearance of 9 women across 3 states. Find out what else police found along with machetes, axes, and knives inside the suspect's car. If you don't like a product, make your own. In today's Buzz on Biz, business owner Neil Gordon tells us about an Aiken woman who makes her own shea butter products.
Well, when Dr. Andrea Bridges of Aiken wasn't too happy with the shea butter products she was finding in the store, she decided to make her own. She used her chemistry background and she developed a variety of hair and body care products under the name Body Canvas. They are now available at Herbal Solutions and Spa in Aiken. Well, the job outlook in the Augusta area looks good. In fact, since June 2014, the CSRA has added 5,500 jobs despite a slight loss actually in seasonal educational jobs in the past month. In fact, Georgia added more than 100,000 jobs in the past year. Its job growth rate remains 0.5% higher than the national average. Attorney Patrick Smith tells us more about the law and the elderly. The Radio Buzz, noon to 1 today, 16:30 a.m. on the dial and on your computer at WRDWAM.com. Please go to our website at buzzon.biz. These 4 sponsors would love to give you a $50 prize back. Well, a new superstore is coming to Columbia County. More on that tomorrow. For now, I'm business owner Neil Gordon.
All right, thank you much, Neil. Outside, the traffic is flowing there at Windsor Cam. Looks like Washington Berkman's Road. Plenty of pickup out there. Dry on the roads, 68 degrees your current temp. Maybe a good day to hit the pools here as we get closer and closer to the first day of school. That's next week. Enjoy this week. Upper 90s by about 3 to 5 o'clock. We should see about 96 to 98 degrees. A little better temp-wise at the end of the week. We'll see a drop back closer to average.
Welcome back. I'm joined with Tim and Sandy from the Aiken County Animal Shelter and our furry friend Snowball.
This one is gigantic. And I said, I thought I had the biggest cat until I've met Snowball here. Talk about this one.
Okay, this is Snowball. He's solid white with beautiful blue eyes, as you can see.
Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Snowball is, he weighs 19 pounds.
Giving him some PEDs over there at the shelter, are you?
Actually, he came in this big. He's a big guy,
Man.
and he's already neutered. He's 12 and a half years old, but he has a lot of spunk to him. He's just because he's got a little age on him. He could last for a good while, and yeah, you're not going anywhere anytime soon, are you?
And he's very talkative.
He is, and this is our last week of our free cat special, and Snowball's one of the ones that were left. We have a few left at the shelter, and Snowball was left. I think it's probably because of his age and maybe his size. But he is
What are you
free.
afraid of, people?
He is free to a good home. He's microchipped. He's neutered, and as you see, he's just a lap cat.
He is. And enjoying the morning right there. Tell them where they can come pick up Snowball or any of the other wonderful pets you have.
They can come to 333 Wire Road in Aiken during our normal business hours, and Snowball can go home with you this morning.
Free cat. How about
Well,
that?
you heard that Snowball is free and he is adorable and he is 19 pounds.
19.
We're going to try and find you a home,
That joker's
Snowball.
big.
Or you can come home with me. How about that?
There you go.
Well, you're
So
all taken
cute.
care of.
Still
Thanks,
to come
Sandy.
on News 12 this morning, if you're looking to fill up at the pump before you hit the road this morning, we're on your side with good news about gas prices. That's coming up next.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, that's very howdy guy now.
on your side this morning with some good news when it comes to filling up at the pump. The national average price dipped 4 cents last week. You probably noticed it fell even further in the southeast. Georgia prices have fallen for 18 straight days now, averaging $2.56. That compares to a national average of $2.71. South Carolina, of course, still well below the mark, usually one of the lowest. It's at $2.33. AAA says prices could fall back below $2 come this fall.
From Education Team 12, public schools in Atlanta are planning to mount cameras inside of school buses. They hope it will catch drivers who illegally pass while the buses are stopped. The cameras are already inside Gwinnett, Cobb, and Clayton County school buses. Officials in those districts say illegal passes have dropped significantly since the cameras have been installed.
Today, you can let Augusta leaders know what you want to see on the roads. Augusta Planning and Development asking for the public's ideas now about the Transportation Vision 2040 plan and road improvement projects. That meeting starts at 5:30 tonight at the Gracewood Community Center on Tobacco Road. There will be several other meetings throughout July and August if you miss tonight's.
And while we've been mostly storm-free here in Augusta, over in Decatur, Georgia, a storm cloud caught on camera is becoming a serious talker on social media. You can see lightning that appears to be totally contained within that cloud. That is like something I have never seen before. Tim, how can you explain this one?
It's beautiful out there. Of course, just watching storms off in the distance. It's great in the Midwest. You can see them from about 50 to 60 miles away like that, and it's all clear. But again, it's a quiet morning. Nothing to worry about right now. We're looking at skies that are clear across a good portion of the two-state. Temps in the 60s and 70s. Let's get a shot of the Grovetown live eye camera here. Some sun beginning to break in just a little while here. Sun up as we speak. We've got 67 degrees, our current temperature, so thankfully continuing to see a drop. Now, starting off the week, we're going to see several locations that are going to be in the upper 90s, maybe the feel of the triple digits. But as we kind of move into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're starting to drop back down in the low 90s, back closer to average. But it'll be sizzling in most likely Aiken, Barnwell County. 99 for Waynesboro today, 98 for Louisville, 97 for Millen, and we're just going to be looking at middle to upper 90s, widespread across most of the viewing area. But there's a chance for some rain to kind of help things out with a lot of this heat as we move into the middle part of the week, which we'll talk about coming up shortly. Danielle?
Thanks for that, Tim. Now it's time to celebrate some birthdays.
That's right. Noah Banks is 10 years old. Happy birthday to you,
Happy
Noah.
birthday, Noah. To be a part of the birthday club, you must be 16 years old or younger. Just head on over to our website, WRDW.com, and click on the birthday club link. Coming up at 6:30 on News 12 this morning, an ambulance driver now facing charges after running a red light and causing a crash involving 4 cars.
Good Monday morning. The time is 6:32. I'm Meredith Anderson here with Danielle Hughes.
Good morning.
And it is a warm morning out there. A lot of you getting ready to take your kids to school next week and the week after that. So Tim, this is one of those mornings, this is one of the last hurrahs where kids don't have to set an alarm.
Yep.
They get to sleep until they wake up on their own, which is something that you and I have not been able to do in forever.
That's right. It's going to come quickly here for sure. Last
It
week
is.
and a half for a lot of you kids. Outside, though, skies are clear. It's a great looking Monday morning by the look of the picture. And from the Grovetown Live Eye camera, just a few scattered clouds here. 67 in calm winds. We head on into the afternoon. The temps will be a little steamy around here. From around 70 at 8 o'clock, 92 at noontime, 98 at 5. And looking at mostly sunny skies. Chances for rain are expected to come back in a little bit more as we head into Wednesday, the second half of the week, and that's where we see a little bit of a change in the temperatures. So definitely something to look forward to here in the extended 5 to 7 day, which we'll look at in just a little while. Danielle?
Definitely looking forward to that rain, Tim. Thank you. A Grovetown inmate back behind bars this morning with an additional charge after escaping. Jerome Bronner, you see him on your screen, was serving a 6-month sentence for shoplifting when he ran off a work site. Yesterday's search lasted about 2 hours. His escape comes exactly 1 year and 1 day after 2 other inmates escaped from the jail yard. Deputies say he will be transferred to the Columbia County Detention Center and possibly face additional time.
Breaking overnight, a lot of you waking up to the news this morning, Whitney Houston's daughter, Bobby Christina Brown, has died. This comes about 7 months after she was found face down and unresponsive in a bathtub. She was 22 years old, and we apologize for those technical difficulties there. Now, police reports describe her death as a drowning. Bobby Christina was the only child between Houston and R&B singer Bobby Brown.
A missing 88-year-old still recovering in the hospital this morning after missing for nearly 18 hours. David Pearson, who suffers from dementia, was reported missing from a home on Whaley Pond Road Saturday afternoon. A sled, helicopter, and tracking team worked through the night to search for him. He was found yesterday morning in the woods on I-20 near exit 11. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office says he only suffered minor scratches but was in good shape, walking and talking. The family released this statement to News 12 saying, quote, "The past 24 hours have been very emotional for our family. Our family is overwhelmed with the love and support shown by those in the community. We are truly thankful for everything that has been done to help get my grandpa, Daddy home." Pearson's nephew, who helped with the search, says that hundreds of volunteers showed up.
Meanwhile, the Aiken County Sheriff's Office has called off the search for Jean Smith, who suffers from Alzheimer's. She reportedly climbed out of her bedroom window July 14th. Deputies say they haven't been able to find any trace of her, but they do not expect foul play here. They are considering her disappearance at this point an accident.
From Crime Team 12, 2 men are facing charges this morning for allegedly stabbing a man several times before stealing his Jeep. Dalton Howard and Patrick Henry are facing attempted murder, burglary, and grand larceny charges. The Saluda County Sheriff's Office says they found the men in 2 separate hotel rooms after recovering the victim's Jeep in West Columbia. Now, the victim was airlifted to the hospital but is expected to be okay. An investigation is still ongoing.
We now know the names of the 3 people killed in a single car crash on I-20. Georgia State Patrol says 22-year-old Joshua Miller, 22-year-old Mackenzie Smith, and 27-year-old Alicio DeGante all died yesterday afternoon. GSP says Miller was behind the wheel of the Toyota Scion near mile marker 153, close to Tolliver County. The car drove into the shoulder, went airborne, they say, as it struck a tree. The car then hit another tree on the passenger side, killing all 3 inside.
We're on your side with a food recall. Kroger is recalling 4 of its seasonings after a sample of garlic powder from North Augusta tested positive for salmonella. The seasonings recalled are Kroger ground cinnamon, garlic powder, coarse ground black pepper, and Kroger bacon buds. Now the company says no one has been reported sick in connection to these products. For more details, go to our website, WRDW.com.
The Georgia Marine killed in the Tennessee military shootings has been laid to rest. 21-year-old Lance Corporal Skip Wells was buried with military honors at Georgia National Cemetery in Canton. Hundreds lined the streets waving American flags as the funeral procession drove by. Wells attended Georgia Southern University before enlisting. He was one of 4 Marines killed during the July 16th attack at military centers in Chattanooga. A Navy petty officer also died from his injuries. New surveillance video shows how the Louisiana theater shooter spent his final hours.
Video shows John Hauser leaving a Motel 6 room that was filled with bottles of alcohol. Police also say they found a wig and glasses inside, believed to have been used as a disguise in other movie theaters he went to. He's seen leaving the building, even smiling at the clerk who says he was no problem at all. Hauser drove 4 miles down the road before opening fire last Thursday night.
10 rounds went off when I realized, you know, 6th or 7th round, I drop and I'm looking at him and I'm like, because I know guns, I said, he's reloading. So I scream to everybody, he's reloading, get the hell out of here now.
More than 100 witnesses have been interviewed. 3 of the 9 victims are still recovering in the hospital.
South Carolina lawmakers will meet this week to discuss State House security after a number of protests. Some state senators want answers as to why the KKK and New Black Panthers Party were both allowed to hold rallies at the same time earlier this month. Only 5 people in all were arrested, but the Richland County Sheriff says the crowds, well, they were pretty much out of control, almost out of control, the exact words there. One state senator says the number of officers was the largest police presence he has seen at the Capitol in 30 years. The lawmakers acknowledge the importance of free speech, but they say they want to know why safety is not a concern when issuing protest permits. A court appearance for the alleged Charleston church gunman slated for today has been delayed. Attorneys for 21-year-old Dylan Roof asked the judge to postpone the hearing after already having things scheduled for today, but both sides agreed and he will now appear in court on Friday. Roof is facing 33 new federal charges, including charges for hate crimes. Prosecutors have not said if they'll seek the death penalty. He's being represented by the same lawyer as the Boston bomber.
And in light of that shooting, Aiken Public Safety is taking measures to make sure your place of worship is staying safe. Public Safety and the FBI are hosting an active shooter awareness meeting today. They're inviting clergy and leaders from all houses of worship in Aiken and surrounding areas to join. That meeting will be held at Millbrook Baptist Church on South Aiken Boulevard this evening at 7 p.m. A local church vandalized with spray paint moving forward this morning. Lies burn in Leviticus 18:22. That's what was spray painted across the front of the Metropolitan Community Church just last week. Yesterday was their first service since being vandalized, and Reverend Rick Soulsby's sermon was about turning harm into something good.
And we celebrate God's unconditional love every week here. And for someone to do that to a building such as this, God's house, to me is absolutely disgraceful.
As a part of the healing process, Soulsby says they are praying for the person who did this, but still at the same time, they hope that suspect is caught. The church has since raised enough money to install security cameras.
Charges against an ambulance driver pending this morning after a multi-car crash on Gordon Highway. The sheriff's office says the driver ran a red light and was not responding to a call. All of this happening at the Kissingbauer Road intersection. The ambulance then hit 4 cars.
By the time he got here, he was still going anywhere in between 45 and 50 miles per hour, and it just kind of careened off to the left and crossed the median and started striking other cars. So it was like movie type thing, you know, something you see in a movie. But
the ambulance did not have a patient inside at the time, but 2 people were injured in that crash Saturday. Deputies say the ambulance driver will face several charges, including failure to maintain a lane and disregarding a traffic signal. The investigation is pending while the STAR team and traffic division now work on the case.
Up next, 2 mothers not losing hope this morning despite their teenage son's boat found capsized days after a fishing trip. Two 14-year-old Florida teens still missing this morning as crews recover their capsized boat. Hundreds gathered yesterday for a vigil for Perry Cohen and Austin Stefanos. The two, described as experienced boaters, left for a fishing trip Friday and never returned.
As a mother, the worst feeling ever, not knowing where your child is.
We wholeheartedly believe that they are out there and alive.
Originally believed the pair might be headed to the Bahamas, but their boat was found yesterday north of where they were last seen. So far, the Coast Guard has searched over 14,000 square miles of the ocean by air and water. The families of the boys are offering a $100,000 reward to help find them. Retired NFL great Joe Namath has also offered his help in finding the boys.
We're on your side this morning with potentially deadly problems with some cars some of you might be driving. Chrysler will buy back more than 500,000 Ram pickup trucks due to defective steering parts. It is all part of a deal with U.S. safety regulators to settle some legal problems with recalls. The trucks, which are Chrysler's top-selling vehicle, have parts, they say, that can cause drivers to lose control. Also, owners of more than 1 million older Jeeps with rear-mounted gas tanks will be able to trade them in for more than market value or be paid to get them repaired.
From Crime Team 12, a reported robbery at a local elementary school. The principal of Rollins Elementary School says someone stole electronics from the building. The principal told Richmond County deputies someone threw a rock into a classroom window and stole a computer and a monitor Friday afternoon. There are no security cameras in the building, but the fire alarm was tripped. The Augusta Fire Department found the broken window while they were checking the building.
The case surrounding 9 women missing across 3 separate states now has a prime suspect. Police started investigating Neil Falls after they say he pulled a gun on a girl with an escort service. She was able to shoot him and get away. He died. Police say they found a machete, axes, a sledgehammer, along with bleach, trash bags, bulletproof vests, and handcuffs in his car. They also say they found similar items with dismembered bodies near Falls' old home in Las Vegas. The 9 missing women were also all escorts. Falls was found with a list of names, ages, and phone numbers of 10 other women. All are still alive.
The Boy Scouts of America will ratify a resolution today that lifts a ban on openly gay troop leaders. The ban barred openly gay adults from serving as den leaders, scoutmasters, and camp counselors. Back in May, the organization president said it was time for the 105-year-old institution to make a change. Under the decision, church-based units can continue to choose adult leaders whose, quote, beliefs are consistent with their own. But the decision does ban discrimination based on sexual orientation in all of its paying jobs across the country.
Oh, I have missed that song. As you hit the road this morning, we're on your side with the News 12 traffic report. Repairs on I-20 expected to begin today after a deadly tractor-trailer accident earlier this month. Georgia DOT crews will work to repair the barrier that truck crashed into near the Bobby Jones interchange. They tell us it will take up to 3 days to repair it and the shoulder area there as well. GDOT officials say the damage, though not a hazard to drivers. Michael Hacker was killed in that crash when his semi burst into flames after hitting a cement guardrail. And if you're heading down I-20 westbound later tonight, you can expect some delays too. A 385,000-pound machine press, or mega load, will be heading down from Columbia County to White, Georgia, starting at 8 o'clock tonight. That 200-foot long, 18-foot wide rig will cause some delays, of course, and also some traffic stops as well. This thing normally goes about 45 miles an hour, but we're told it can slow to 5 miles an hour at some point. So if you pass it, use extreme caution.
And checking how the traffic is moving with one of our live iCams. We're looking out over I-20 with our Wheeler Road Cam, and you can see folks getting ready to hit the road for that morning commute. Tim, what can they expect out of the weather today?
Well, it's quiet. Thankfully, a nice picture out of the I-20 Wheeler Cam. And looking around most of the two-state, we don't really see too many headaches. We're not going to be dealing with rainfall. That's not going to be an issue here. Out at the Windsor Cam this morning, steady traffic flow on Washington and Berkman's Road. As we sit, still officially in the upper 60s. So a nice feel to the air to start the week off because we do have plenty of heat that is going to be coming back in later on today. We'll get up close to about the 70 mark as we get into about 8 o'clock. Then noontime rolls around and we hit the heat. Definitely ramping up there to the upper 90s, about 96, 97 between 4 and 6, and just a sun cloud to mostly sunny sky for later on today. Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll see again the chance for a little bit of wet weather moving back in. But notice the trend. Thankfully, it does get much cooler toward the end of the week. Maybe the weekend, kind of hinting at maybe some upper 80s. Not bad at all, but still we're looking at lots of heat, about 95 to 98 from Monday to Thursday, and then 92 by Friday, with the average starting to drop a little bit more at about 93. Widespread 60s and 70s. Here we are at 73, Washington, Georgia. Thompson 71 with mid-60s at SRS and Aiken. Some 70s also in Barnwell, Waynesboro, and Millen coming in with low 70s. We've had a little bit of offshore rain showers kind of trying to work their way into the Georgia coast here, kind of in between Savannah, Brunswick, north of Jacksonville, low in the Gulf, bringing in a little bit of moisture there. High pressure kind of the dominant feature for now along the Gulf states, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, kind of moving a little bit further toward the east, stalled out front well off to the north, and the Ohio Valley finding some rainfall here. Futurecast models again get active as they usually do in the afternoons, but it looks like most of it's going to stay kind of north and west of 85 for later today, at least by 1:30. Some showers offshore. We're going to move it into around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Maybe if you're in Wilkes County, northern Lincoln, McCormick, Greenwood County, and just off to the northwest there in Tulliver County, you might have a chance, kind of a small one, for a little wet weather. Otherwise, a lot of us left out with just plenty of heat in the mid to upper 90s later today. Mornings will be quiet all the way into 8:30 Tuesday morning, middle to upper 70s. Another day with 90s coming back tomorrow, but it looks like a little bit of a healthier chance for maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm coming in, kind of spread out from the Carolinas and Georgia. With those mid and the low 90s coming in late tomorrow afternoon, 70s repeat all the way into early Wednesday morning at around 5:30. We'll look to be in about the middle and upper 70s as usual there. So that stays consistent. We've got a hot start to the week, though. 98 degrees, mostly sunny. Our chances for rain begin to creep back in the forecast tomorrow at about 20%. 97 to 96 with mornings in the 70s there, and we'll finish off the week at least below average for once here. 90 to 92 from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we'll keep a consistent chance for some scattered showers and storms. 30 to 40% all the way into the 7-day stretch there. We'll finish up with some headlines. A last check of your forecast in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
Welcome back. The time is 6:54. I'm Meredith Anderson. Let's get a check of today's headlines in this morning's rundown. A Grovetown inmate back behind bars this morning with an additional charge after escaping. Jerome Bronner was serving a 6-month sentence for shoplifting when investigators say he ran off a work site. Yesterday's search lasted about 2 hours. Deputies say he will be transferred to the Columbia County Detention Center and will possibly face additional time.
Breaking overnight, Whitney Houston's daughter, Bobby Christina Brown, has died. This comes about 7 months after she was found face down and unresponsive in a bathtub. She was 22 years old. Police reports describe her death as a drowning. Bobby Christina was the only child between Houston and R&B singer Bobby Brown.
A missing 88-year-old man still recovering in the hospital this morning after being found. Good news, he was missing for nearly 18 hours. David Pearson, who suffers from dementia, was reported missing from a home on Whaley Pond Road Saturday afternoon. He was found yesterday morning in the woods on I-20 near exit 11 after overnight searches. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office says he only suffered minor scratches but was in good shape. He was walking and talking.
Kroger is recalling 4 of its seasonings after a sample of garlic powder from North Augusta tested positive for salmonella. The seasonings recalled are garlic powder, ground cinnamon, garlic powder, coarse ground black pepper, and Kroger bacon buds. The company says no one has been reported sick in connection to the products. For more details, head on over to our website, WRDW.com.
All right, last check of the planner. It's nice and comfortable this morning. A little bit of a muggy feel, but upper 60s, not too bad of a start for Monday morning. We do have plenty of heat. It's going to be a hot start to the week. Otherwise, low 90s at midday, 98, mostly sunny throughout the day. It's not really till about the late part of the week that we'll see kind of a decent transition. Down a little bit cooler to the low 90s into Friday. We have a chance of showers and thunderstorms that will kind of be in there consistently as well. A little better from Thursday all the way to the upcoming weekend. But at least it's away from 100.
It is.
I like that. I like seeing that.
Yeah, we'll take
what more can we ask for?
What we
For
can
sure.
get. Thanks for waking up with us this morning.